I think I'm a special one.
What are we doing? What are we doing?
All right, what's up, guys? Back here, episode 3 on the Half-Turn Podcast. What's up, Chad?
What's up, Andrew?
You ready to get rolling again?
Yeah, let's do it.
It's been about a week since episode 2, so
Yeah.
Finally, we're trying to do like 2 a week, try to pump out more content, but we've been busy this week, so.
Yeah, we filmed last Friday. Today's Friday. So we're going to try and get more podcasts going, but right now we've been pretty busy.
Yeah. So in the meantime, when we can't do podcasts, we'll, try and clip up like hot takes or something from, the previous podcast and put it out there as content.
Yeah, you're doing a great job with that, by the way.
I'm working. You're not even helping me out.
Oh my gosh.
I think we need to just let you run the Twitter or something.
I'm not good at Twitter.
You could run our Facebook page. We don't even have
We
one.
don't have a Facebook page.
Maybe our Tumblr,
Our
Pinterest.
Snapchat.
All right, we got to start off. What are we wearing, Chad?
All right, so I'm wearing this year's black Chelsea kit. Pulisic on the back, or should I say pull assist.
Hey, there we go.
Got that from a few people. But, yeah, this is probably my favorite jersey. It's so fresh.
Yeah,
It's like
nice.
the real one, too.
I like the Nike logo. It says Nike and has the Nike
Yeah.
Nike check. Yeah.
Definitely better than their new jerseys.
That's
with the
class.
3 on
big
the
3.
front.
Everybody's Marcos Alonso. Will 11 Marcos Alonsos win the Premier League?
Nah, they would not. Oh, what are you wearing?
All right, so I'm wearing, I don't even know what year, it's a Pachuca jersey, the team from Mexico. So I bought it from a soccer shop downtown. They got a lot of, Mexican soccer, like, teams, jerseys, like, just about anything. So I was, I got it. It was, like, decent deal. So I was like, I'm always down to buy, like, random soccer jerseys and stuff. So
It's funny because there's, like, 10 different sponsors.
yeah, there's, like, an old school Pepsi logo on here.
And it's half black, half orange.
Yeah, like, slash down the middle.
Yeah.
Half of it.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So, plan for today, we're going to talk, Chad's going to lead us through some current soccer talk. We'll talk about MLS, Premier League, some popular soccer topics. Then we'll walk through what I want to have like a name for this segment. Maybe if you guys have any suggestions or something like that. But we're going to kind of like dissect a section of our career and then compare it to like what we know as like a development topic. So today I think we'll talk about like the earliest stages of our career, like when we first started playing and like started developing as players, and then like what I've learned through like research and just like learning on my own about like what we should be doing as coaches, as like or parents or whatever to like make sure like the player as a player they grow. So I think that'd be interesting, and then we have like a few listener questions, so
Yeah.
we'll get into those too.
Before that, last week we talked about what we were doing on the weekend. You had some coaching. How was that?
Yeah, I helped coach a youth tournament. That was pretty good. It was cool to see that, even with all the precautions and stuff, able to get soccer in. It's good to be back on the pitch. And then you had a game.
I had 2 games. I had one on Saturday, won 3-0. One on Wednesday, lost 2-0.
Oof.
But
That's good. At least you're back on the field, getting your
back
legs
on the
under you.
pitch.
It's a lot of games.
A little rusty, but
That's why you got to train.
I've been
And then
training.
we did, like a youth soccer camp on Monday. And then these past 4 days, so Tuesday through Thursday, I've been helping with high school soccer workouts and stuff. So we started doing that. So soccer, getting back into it. Hopefully everything works well and there's seasons and all that stuff.
Yeah, at that camp, the kids seem to like me the most. I'm the shooting coach.
Yeah, shooting. Everyone loves shooting.
You're working on what? Dribbling?
Moves.
Creativity.
Creativity.
You're the moves group.
Yeah.
Everyone that comes out of that group's going to look like Neymar.
Yeah, we're all Neymar. All right, let's get started. What's your first topic?
First of all, let's shout out Real Madrid for winning the La Liga.
Campeones.
Congrats to all you Real fans. And congratulations to Leeds United, promoted to the Premier League. Excited to see that season 2 on Amazon Prime. You haven't seen it though, right?
I finished it, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. You finished it like the other one.
Amazon, was it All or Nothing? Is that the name of the series?
I don't know if it's an all or not. It might be.
I don't know, but it tries to like take you behind the scenes of like Leeds United. It was last season, so 2018-19 of like their season in the championship. It's pretty cool. Got to look at Bielsa, who's I think one of the best managers in the world. So it's awesome.
Yeah, check that out if you can. But we can start with the MLS.
Let's do it.
Let's start with the boys in blue, the Union, picking up another 3 points.
Another 3, top of the group. Are we top of the group? Tied for the top of the group.
Yeah.
We have 6 points. Orlando has 6 points. Beat Miami 2-1.
Yep.
So that's solid. I think so. A few of my takeaways from the game: it was ugly, not our best game in possession or whatever.
No.
Hit them on the counter though to get that winning goal. I think it just proves that Jim Curtin is a good coach and he can get the most out of his players even when they don't really play, our kind of style.
Yeah.
What did we talk about last time with Brenden Aaronson? We were both on here challenging him to like pick up the ball, start attacks, be lethal, like play those lethal like through balls and stuff to start counterattacks. And he must listen because he literally did that.
I think he's listening.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Shout out Brenden Aaronson.
He set up basically 3 goals. He set up the first one, which went straight across the box, got bounced around. Kai Wagner.
Yeah, that was nice.
That was a nice shot. And then he set up Brzelko, but was called back on offsides, which I didn't think was offsides, if they had VAR.
I think they have VAR.
I don't think he was offsides, but doesn't matter because Aaronson finds Brzelko again.
Yeah, and that's the thing I think makes like youth prospects so exciting. Like I think a lot of fans are too quick to say like, oh, he should be starting for the national team or he should be sold for big money, but like you see the potential, and I think what's cool is like when you start to see that potential, but then they start creeping in like more consistent performances. Like if that Aaronson performance was like a 9.5 out of 10, instead of like his off games as like a 5 or 6 out of 10, if he starts having like 7 out of 10, 7.5 out of 10, and then he throws in those 9.5 games, like then you start like you're a real player. Like that's when you get sold for big money. So
yeah,
I'm excited.
I mean, I feel like that's kind of hard for a player in his position and his type of play style is to consistently do that.
Yeah,
but it depends on the team that they play.
Yeah,
like Inter Miami.
They kind of clogged the middle a little bit.
Yeah, Inter Miami seemed. I just watched the game literally before this, and it just seemed like they would keep the ball in the back, and their only option was to give it to Pizarro.
They love that guy.
No one else moves on the field except for Pizarro.
Mm-hmm.
They move for him to find.
I think it might have been the first game of the tournament against Orlando. Twellman was talking about how the Miami coach, he like has a good reputation, but it's all about like being organized defensively. But you would think of Miami trying to spend big money, like they've been linked to like Cavani and a few other big names, like like they're probably going to be in 3 years like power, like lots of firepower, like attacking team. But maybe it's just like let's grind through this year, like just get results like through defensive work rate. So maybe that's them this year
with Roman Torres.
Oh gosh, that guy is a load. He's got to weigh like 225 pounds, and he's not even that tall.
Yeah. Wait, did you see what DeMarcus Beasley said about Aaronson?
Silky.
How does he not know who Aaronson is? He's retired, right? Beasley?
Yes. Finally. Right. It's about time.
But he played like last season, right?
He played,
the season before. Yeah. Aaronson was still like there. Like,
I'm sure he's heard about him, I guess.
Aaronson's played for the national team. I don't get how he does
Beasley just needs to get more active on USMNT fans' Twitter. Because dudes love that stuff.
Yeah.
All right. So we talked about the Union and Aaronson.
Well, other than the Union, I think the best team is Columbus.
Columbus looks good. Is that our consensus dark horse for the tournament?
That's our dark horse.
I do want to shout out Minnesota United as another dark horse, but I'm gonna roll with you, Columbus.
Yeah.
the talk today was how well Nagy played, how technical he is. It's funny. Greg Berhalter's son, Sebastian Berhalter, started. Shout out to Wadke on Twitter. He'll take players like all their touches from the game, clip them into one video. So I watched all of Berhalter's touches today, and you could tell he's like very technical. Definitely grew up with like his dad as a coach, but like he was trying some like long balls and chips and like progressive passes, but like they just didn't work out. So maybe on another day or something. I'm not gonna say he's a bad player, but like a lot of bad giveaways.
I didn't see him play. How old is he?
Yeah, I think he's only like 19. I'm pretty sure he went 1 year at North Carolina. Was a freshman, like started a few of their games, and then just like signed, like just went pro.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Greg Berhalter's been at like every game.
Yeah, he's just lurking on the sidelines.
Yeah, when they're thinking who he's gonna call up next.
Oh, how about speaking of Berhalter and call-ups, Zardes is kind of on fire too.
Yeah, his already been banging.
I'm telling you, like, I don't. Not that I like to watch Zardes on the national team either, but like, he's not terrible. Like, he has skills, and like, I think part of the reason like people don't like him, like, Klinsmann kept trying to play him as like a left winger. He doesn't even have a left foot.
We always used to say he would just like cut it back.
Yeah,
and play
he would cut it. I remember I have tweets. I'm gonna, I was right in this case. He's not a winger. He's a number 9. I remember tweeting it and saying it. He's a number 9, and Klinsmann got that wrong. And then like maybe he's not a great number 9, but he runs the channels and like can do the dirty work. So he gets stuff done at times. It's for Columbus. It's for this random tournament, but.
I think he's just good in MLS.
Maybe.
I think he's had good performances for the U.S., but
can he get it done
not what the U.S. needs right now.
He can't get it done in Nations League on the road against Canada.
Did he play then?
I think he played that game. Yeah, that was rough.
He's been like the starting forward for like.
Dude, he's got to have so many caps by now.
He probably does.
All right, so let's transition to the Prem.
Yeah, let's go to the Prem. No Man City ban. They did not get banned.
Interesting.
So that means that still the top 4 go to the Champions League. 5 and 6 go to Europa League.
Big battle between Man United and Leicester. I think Leicester play Spurs and then they play United.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Last game of the season?
And then I think United have like an easy game and then play Leicester. So I'm hoping Leicester picks up 3 against Spurs and then Man United win, and it's just like winner gets in. I think Leicester have a better goal differential.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah.
So 3 more than goal differential, 3 better than Man U.
That's gonna be awesome. That there's something to play for there.
I kind of hope. Sorry, all Man U fans, but I kind of hope Leicester to stay in that. Stay in that Champions League spot. It'd be cool.
Mm-hmm.
And West Ham played today against Watford. Watford were 17th. West Ham were right above them. West Ham beat Watford, and now West Ham are clear of of relegation.
Watford's fairly safe too, right?
Watford's 3 points above.
Yeah, so they're
Bournemouth and Villa.
The fact that Villa still has a chance to stay up.
Dude, Villa almost beat Everton the other day, and that would have been huge.
Like
they
we said
gave up an 87th minute header to Theo Walcott.
Like we said on episode 1, I've never seen an Everton fan smile.
Yeah. I haven't been smiling recently because of Everton.
Oof. I don't even. What do they need to do? Like, the team just makes no sense to me.
So I've been following a lot more on Twitter. I now have tweet notifications on this for this one dude, and I kind of agree with what he says. So they've obviously been in poor form, and like the midfield is getting like a bunch of crap because like Sigurdsson and Tom Davies, they really just don't play forward passes. Like they'll either play backwards or side to side, and I just think they need a center mid to play along Andre Gomez. Like maybe someone
Sebastian Berhalter.
That's like maybe defensive, so Gomez can kind of do his thing with the ball. I think Gomez is a great player, but Tom Davies and Sigurdsson just aren't.
You think that's the biggest problem? Is like
the midfield, the wingers. The wingers are poor. Bernard, Iwobi, like
poor. I mean, Ancelotti should be able to recruit some talent. Like he's
Oh yeah, that's the main reason why they brought him in, because they want to bring in those like top players.
Maybe finish somewhere other than 9th through 12th in the Premier League.
All right, you act like they finished 9 through 12 like every season.
All right, show me some other time when they haven't.
Under Roberto Martinez, one year they finished 5th, I think. They were like so close to a Champions League
That's
spot,
crazy.
and if they played if they had that amount of points, would have finished them 3rd this year in the Premier League.
Oh man,
So
dang.
fun fact. But I also
Give me a transfer target. If you had like a reasonable amount of money, don't go like spending.
They're linked with what's his name? His name's like Pierre Emile Hoiberg, something like that, from Southampton. Apparently, he's really good.
I think I did.
Spurs are linked with him too. He's a center.
Yeah,
back.
I saw this. All right,
I just think maybe just like a new midfield, really. Just get some.
What about
Better
American
players.
International Weston McKennie?
I'd like to see that, but I don't know how good he would do in the Premier League.
I don't know how he's done in the Bundesliga.
Has he then?
He's a dude. He scored like 3 goals towards
Yeah,
the
he
end.
just gets in the box for set pieces.
So Weston McKennie, I feel like there's a lot of different opinions on him. Like, so you guys probably seen like Schalke doesn't want to pay big money to like keep their players. They want to like get salaries below a certain amount. So and Weston McKennie makes a lot of money, and he can command like $25 million maybe at the top end for like a transfer fee. So he's gonna go somewhere like decent. Like I feel like he'll probably end up just going to like Wolfsburg or somewhere like else random in the Bundesliga. But like, be cool to see him in the Premier League.
Yeah. So if those who don't know about Schalke, they decided that they're trying to save a ton of money because I don't really know what happened. They're going to stop trying to qualify for Europe. They literally said that they're not that's not their focus at all. It's to qualify for
making money.
Europe, and every player has a certain amount they can make. I guess it's all the same.
They capped it.
Yeah. So Weston will probably be getting out of there.
Mm-hmm.
I hope. I don't really want to see him at Schalke again.
No, I want to see him go somewhere where he like gets better with the ball. Like, I mean, we've seen him make tackles, seen him win headers. Like, I don't know, he's great on set pieces too. But like, if he could like improve with the ball a little bit and kind of become like a true like defensive mid, even if he just sprays the ball wide and just gives it to his other better playmaking midfielders, then that's fine with me because he's got some physical traits you just can't teach.
Yeah, so the clubs he's linked with currently are Everton, Liverpool, Wolves,
Oh, that'd be kind of nice.
Wolfsburg, Newcastle, and Hertha.
Newcastle would be interesting.
Yeah,
Him and John Joe Shelby running the midfield.
him and Yedlin and Canal.
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna have to be a Newcastle fan now.
Oh yeah,
All that money.
yeah, because you don't have a club.
Yeah.
You're just gonna hop on the band.
I'm a floater. Yeah.
The funny picture I saw on Instagram, it was like all the best players in the world, all like in Newcastle jerseys, because Newcastle's like gonna get all this money. It was like Mbappe playing for Newcastle.
That'd be awesome.
But
What else? Any other Premier League topics?
oh well, Antonee Robinson. For those who don't know who he is, he plays American left back for Wigan in the Championship. And he's very attacking left back, really fast, and he's been linked with a few different clubs. He was actually going to sign for Milan earlier this year, but he had, what was it?
He had like a irregular heartbeat or something and didn't pass a physical. And he was literally on like deadline day. So they just like sent him back and he was out for like a few months and now he's back.
Yeah,
He's back
so
playing. But
the thing is with Wigan, I heard that their owners put a bet in that they would get relegated.
yeah, Wigan's a mess. There's a huge like scandal about somebody bought the team, but they also have stake in this gambling company. The gambling company sponsored the shirt. You could probably look up the whole story. I'm not going to try and like say the whole thing, but it's like nuts. So yeah, but that team's actually playing well. Like I feel like they're winning.
Yeah, they just won. They were up 7-0 in the first half of their last game. So
Yeah. If you haven't seen Antonee Robinson play, look up his highlights because like very unique player, like very attacking. Like it almost like he doesn't like even know where to be on defense. He just kind of like runs around.
You know who he kind of looks like Alexander Arnold.
Yeah,
he
in the
looks
face,
like
but like
doesn't really play like
his like body shape. He's like really like built, but he's like
lanky.
Yeah, he's like tall, like kind of like thin looking.
Built lanky guy.
He looks like he also looks a little bit like the guy from Phineas and Ferb. I think it's Ferb.
I thought you were going to talk about Doofenshmirtz?
No, I'm not talking about him. I'm looking up a picture of Ferb.
Doofenshmirtz is from...
Yes, look up a picture of Ferb from Phineas and Ferb, and that's Antonee Robinson.
Yeah. That's funny, bro.
All right, so where's he going? What's the best place for him?
Well, if Ben Chilwell leaves Leicester, possibly going to Chelsea, there's a rumor that Antonee Robinson will fill that spot and go to Leicester.
That'd be a jump.
And the only other left back Leicester have are Christian Fuchs.
Legend.
So, or
I mean, honestly, that's not bad because then Fuchs would get some games, but maybe they start working Robinson in.
Yeah.
And they're a stable club that's willing to spend money, so I like that.
And he was linked with West Brom, and West Brom are most likely going to get promoted. I'm pretty sure.
So that's cool. He's performed in the championship, so that's solid. Like that guy's got a good career trajectory right now. He's young too. What is he, 19?
I don't know.
Already has a cap for the national team. So
yeah, we were there.
Yeah, that was like one of those random summer friendlies in like the dead time when like we knew we weren't going to the World Cup in 2018, but like still had like games to play.
Yeah. But so that's Antonee Robinson, Weston McKennie, and Serginho Dest are like the three biggest Americans probably on the move. Could be on the move.
Yeah, I think I don't know if anybody else is really in the mix to move, but those three, I would say at least two of those three are moving.
Yeah.
So that should be cool.
I kind of hope so. But
any other pro soccer topics or?
USL Championship is back.
That's back, yeah. Shout out to our boy. You guys probably know Matt Sheldon, runs the Become Elite YouTube channel. He just posts like his day in the life videos, like his training, his nutrition. Like he's gotten really big, but we started watching him like way back in the day, like when he first kind of started his YouTube, and just been following his journey. So that's awesome. So yeah, he's known as a YouTuber, but he plays for FC Tulsa in the USL Championship, and USL has gotten back on track, and they're starting to have games with like no fans or like very limited fans. So they tied 1-1 against Oklahoma City on Monday.
Yeah,
a few games going on today.
I like watching the USL. I think there's some pretty good soccer.
I kind of want to watch more of it because it's like a lot of
it's been on ESPN too, like this whole week.
Yeah, I know. When we're done this, I'm gonna go watch some USL.
Yeah, the ones in a rain delay.
Yeah. Hopefully it's like just delayed enough so like we're done this and then it starts. But yeah, and it's like you get the mix of young guys, you get the mix of like fighting for their soccer career guys. So like it's kind of cool. Yeah. Now a lot of times it's very results driven because like there's no like real incentive to be like unless you're the best team or like in the playoffs. There's no like real incentive to play great soccer or whatever. But it's interesting to see that league grow, and I'm sure like as we go through these like specific like random topics we talk about in each episode, like I kind of want to dissect like what I think the USL's like ideal plan is, because right now there's a ceiling on like what the USL can be as a second division and third division in the US with no promotion relegation, but I think eventually they're gonna have like a really good like build out. So that's something we got to talk about soon.
3 different leagues.
Yeah. So we'll save that for another podcast.
But there's definitely some players who can play in the MLS in that league.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you see with the young guys, like sometimes there's young guys who play for these teams. They go up to MLS and like they play the next season.
Yeah. The dude Solomon Asante, short little striker. He won MVP last season and won Player of the Week the first week.
Who's he play for?
Plays for Phoenix Rising.
Phoenix is always good.
They were the best team last year.
But
lost in the playoffs. But that's all I got for
So here would be the time that we
round up.
hit an ad read and talk about our sponsor, but no one's hit us up to sponsor us. So.
Wait, hold up. Let us know how this sounds because we got a new microphone.
Oh, sweet, yeah. See, if we had a sponsor, they could pay for a better one, but...
Yeah, let's shout out, I don't even know how to pronounce it, so I'm not going to shout him out, but...
Standard USB mic.
Yeah.
So hopefully the audio sounds better. Chad mumbles when he talks, so I know a few guys said, like, I can't really hear Chad. So I think we sound okay, like on the GoPro filming for YouTube, but on the audio version, like on Spotify and Apple Podcasts,
I'll move the mic a little closer to me.
Maybe. Nah, we're all right now. Leave it kind of...
What if they want to hear my breathing?
No, thanks. All right, so next we talk about our development topic. So this is kind of like where I like to get pretty nerdy, and I've gotten like really into this. Like obviously I really like the men's national team, soccer in the U.S., how our players develop, like youth internationals. And we've obviously gotten like really like much better at like player developing. So one thing I want to talk about is like how we develop as like young players. So like I think it's good like if we each give like a brief like intro, like how we started. So like our parents never played, like we didn't grow up in like a soccer house or anything like that. We just kind of signed up when we were little for like the local like youth, like who's called like Mighty Mites.
Rec.
Yeah, it was rec, but they called them Mighty Mites, which is pretty cool.
I didn't know.
And you just kind of played rec, and then when you got to like U8, or U7 or whatever, you asked to be on like a tournament team and play like travel soccer. So you play like other like small like South Jersey clubs, and then from there like a lot of times people will just, if they're good, they go to like better teams that play like more like in the region rather than just in like South Jersey or something like that. I mean, obviously, like, we didn't know any better. Like, it was fun for us. Like, the team camaraderie and all that stuff was great. But I think there's, like, problems with that. And I think there's, like, gaps missing in our development, specifically in mine. Because, like, I don't know, talk about yours a little bit and let me see.
What I did on my own, or?
No, just, like, up until we were, like, 8 or 9. Like, where we went to practice twice a week, had a game on the weekend.
Yeah, so I never really, like, practiced on my own at that age. Like, we never really like were outside all the time.
Yeah, so we weren't like
around.
Yeah, so what I think is I've heard people talk about this. Like, I think the most important thing when developing a player is like their home culture. You see a lot of these like Hispanic like immigrants that come over and they're kicking a ball all over the place, around the house, in the backyard, like just like with their family or whatever, and like you just know the ball. It's part of like your culture. But here it's kind of like 2 practices a week. You have a game on the weekend. Like your parents bring out like these like silly chairs and you just watch us play.
It's like every other sport.
Yeah, it's very like like monetized youth soccer. But I think the most important thing is like if like a kid like loves the game and just like kind of plays it casually. Like you just go kicking around in the backyard, but they're knowing the game. So I've kind of like done a lot of work on like free play, and I've really looked into like free play. So like kids playing like on the playground or just like organized pickup. You see it in like Brazil, like kids like playing on the streets or whatever. Like there's really none of that here. It's hard. Like I'm sure like in 10 years, like a lot more kids will be playing like on the playground and like at recess and stuff. Like we never did. I know like I feel like I'm not that creative of a player because I never like played. It actually like there's like legit studies I've read that like link it to brain development and overall athleticism too, because like it kind of lets you like do your own thing but in some sort of a structure.
Yeah,
right, like so that's kind of what I had with that. I feel like with free play, like the players can take risks. I see so many times like when I played like U8, U9 travel soccer, or like sometimes I'll like be at these tournaments or whatever, or I'll watch these little kids like at practice or games, and I don't see the players like taking risks or being creative. Like yeah, you want to teach them the right way to play, but if you're 9 years old, you're not going to play the right way anyway. The best thing to do, I think, is just have them do moves, dribble. Like as long as they can play as a team, okay. Like just get them dribbling and be comfortable with the ball. That's why like if I ever try to like schedule like a practice with little kids, it's got to be like interactive. Like you got to be in the structure of a game, either going to goal or playing against somebody or like moving freely with the ball. Because I feel like people try and put like a structure around kids playing with the ball, and then it just breaks down, right? Like I'm sure you've seen that at practice. Like,
Yeah.
Do you remember anything you did when you were little in terms of practice or games? Honestly,
I just like when I think back, I just remember the games. Like I don't really remember the practices.
Yeah, and I don't really remember like I feel like we didn't really play much on our own.
Nah.
Just because I mean we play like football or something.
Until, maybe like 7th grade.
Yeah, same. I was similar, and like if you play on your own, you're able to fix your own mistakes. That's why I think like it's so important that like if I've never coached this young, but if I coached like a U7, U8, U9, like I feel like the most important thing is you set them up in like some sort of a structure, but you let them kind of go with what they want to do. And if it gets out of hand, you bring them back. But like if they can fix their own mistakes or work things out as a team, I think that's the best thing to do.
Are you saying it's best for them like to develop their own ideas and like
Yes.
add up?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people like there's probably people like they should be developing their own ideas because there's people out there that think they know the game better than everybody else, and then they're teaching one way to they're telling these kids like, oh, you got to win the ball, or oh, boot it up the field, or send it, or not in the middle, or clear it. Well, how are you going to give a player, one, the confidence to be creative anywhere on the field, and two, like you see it all the way trickle all the way up through the national team. Players can't dribble by anybody. I feel like I see that in my game too. I kind of like, not that I'm not comfortable with the ball, but like if someone's coming at me, I'd rather pass it than like be able to take a few dribbles, get out of pressure, and then pass it. Like that's a skill you learn from playing and beating players like repeatedly.
Yeah,
there's
that helps with anywhere on the field.
Yeah, and there's a cap at what age that could really be taught. Like if you're 14 years old and you really can't dribble a ball, like you're probably not going to be able to dribble out of pressure all the time. Like there's some just like intrinsic like skills where you're rolling. Like it's in the back of your mind. You don't have to think about it before you do it.
Your vocab's kind of on point.
I'm telling you, I actually read like academic studies about this stuff. Like there's studies saying like technically sound players like can typically make bad decisions and it just doesn't work in a game. Like if you have like a 9-year-old kid that could like do a bunch of moves in this small little box, like that's great, do that too. But like if you can't put it into a game, it really means nothing, because then you take 10 weeks off from soccer in the winter or something, and then those technical skills kind of go away again.
Yeah.
Right?
Wait, so you do all of this, like you're out there playing, you want them to like, you said like think of their own ideas or whatever. Now they have to be able to like see what like good soccer looks like and how it should be played. So what do you think about younger, like real young players watching the game?
Oh, yes, for sure. That's something I kind of missed. Like when little kids are like kicking the ball with their parents or around their backyard or whatever, like if they're doing that, they're probably also watching the game on TV, which is why I'm so like excited about the future of like American soccer. Like there's a ton of soccer on TV. Like I think we said in a few podcasts ago, like there's little kids wearing like Messi, Ronaldo, like Neymar, like it's like a Granit Xhaka jersey, like a Mats Hummels jersey. Like you just know these guys like from YouTube or whatever. So like that can only help, right? You're just consuming the game without even knowing you're learning, right? You're learning the terms, you're learning the spacing, the angles.
Yeah, if you just see someone do something like repeatedly, you're like, oh, that dude shot it near post. Oh, I saw that again. Like you might try that next time you're out on the field.
There's just a lot of people out there that don't like. When you're creative, like it's got to be creative all the time. If you're like a free-flowing team, you got to be free-flowing all the time. You can't be a team that just like sets up in like some structured practice, lets them practice, and then kind of go home. It's got to be like, here's how we're going to play, and this is going to develop players. Like I think, like if you're a young team, like have your wingers out wide on the touchline. You'll get them the ball eventually, right? Let them go dribble at players. Like it just teaches them the game. Like I don't know. Obviously, it's different if you're really trying to win a game, but I don't know if I'd get mad at someone for trying to pass out of the back or dribble by some, like, if someone's stepping a little too hard, take a touch to the side to be able to play a pass, because, like, that's how you learn. And, you know, you're not going to be able to teach all this stuff when they're 17 or 18, so learn it now.
What do you mean by now?
So if
What
someone,
age?
I'm saying, I think up until like U12, like you should be playing out of the back all the time. You should let your players dribble. Like obviously, don't dribble like in your own 6-yard box or something like that. But like you got to teach them like when it's okay to like, dribble up the field and take your space, when it's time to go one-on-one with somebody, when it's time to like make runs, and it's got to be like kind of part of everything you do. It can't just be, hey, let's go play some good soccer. You got to have like a real like creative identity. If not, you better be really good at passing the ball or really good at defending, because that's the only way you're going to be, beat those teams.
Yep.
I had a few other things. Here we go. Belgium. There's a podcast and an article. If you
Belgium.
just go Belgium, Lukaku. They switched. They played 5v5 up until like U10 or something, and then before this golden era hit, so like when like Hazard was a kid and like De Bruyne and all those guys, they switched to 2v2 up until like U9 or something, U10.
Oh, really?
So all they do is play 2v2, which is exactly what I'm talking about, right?
Awesome.
The only skills you have to worry about are dribbling and scoring. Everything else, teamwork will come kind of naturally. You'll fix your mistakes, right? Instead of youth soccer or like rec soccer, like having a trainer, like I've done this too, having a trainer go out and like play, Sharks and Minnows is fun. Maybe you could have a few little practices, but like play games. Have them play 2v2 games, 3v3 games, 1v1 games. Like the games shouldn't be bigger than 3v3. And, maybe like incorporate a goalie every once in a while so, it's kind of fun and different. But if you're working on dribbling and scoring, now when you're 10 or 11 and you're like your body starts to like develop, then you can start teaching passing and technique and long balls and like some more like positional shape kind of stuff.
So technique should come later?
Technique should always be worked on, but there's a point where you could keep working on your technique. There's a point where your cognitive ability to like go with the flow, I guess would be the right word.
But you don't want kids
can stop.
Like toe balling a pass or...
No, but they'll get it. They'll get it. If they could figure out that, hey, this toe ball works, then they'll figure out how to dribble out of pressure, or they'll figure out something else.
Yeah, have them figure it out on their own.
Yep. There's stats to show that improving through a game, like improving through like free play or a structured scrimmage, helps more than technique-based training. Right? So if you just set up cones and have the kids pass around cones, that's great for older kids when you're teaching things through those passing patterns. But it's not great for little kids that are just standing there and not playing the game that they're supposed to be playing.
Yeah, I agree.
Another thing I think that I always talk about is like when you transition from free play to like actually teaching the game, it's got to be what people like in these articles call it a constraints-led approach. So like you put constraints on the practice or the scrimmage to get something out of it. So maybe you're going 6v2, like it's a modified rondo with some goals or something like that. Like so your numbers up, they're getting lots of touches, but they're getting their confidence, and it's not so hard that you can't do it. It's not like you can't have 6v6 8-year-olds playing a possession game in a square. They're not going to keep the ball. But if it's like 7v1 or 6v2, like maybe they can keep the ball.
Yeah, but it sucks for those 1 or 2 players.
Yeah, but if you make it fun for them to kind of chase the ball.
You've coached young kids. Like, they'll start complaining about
but the point is that if you're the coach of like the team, you're working with them the whole season, you make it part of like the culture of the team or like the team ethos. Like we're having fun with the ball. Like the ball is like an extra part of you. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's like kind of what I would do. And I think the most important thing up until like I would say at least 10 years old is that like you're with the ball all the time. You're spending the most time with the ball, juggling, whatever, like working on your moves, like just acting like you're trying to dribble by somebody. And it's much easier to figure out the rest of the stuff later than it is to like reverse engineer it. You're pretty good at it, but like for me, like I can't do it like I've worked on my dribbling like a ton, my moves a ton. It doesn't come natural. You put me isolated on the wing with somebody, I'm probably either whipping in a cross or trying to play like a through ball or something. I'm not trying to dribble by him.
Or cut it back and just maintain.
Maintain possession, ball circulation. I'm definitely not a creative player, which maybe I'm just not a creative guy, but think about how many creative players there could have been in the country. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you've seen our, like, World Cup rosters or our MLS rosters. Like, there's more creative players in the country than that.
I mean, if you look at all the professional teams, not everyone is creative. Like,
Yes, but they could all look at everyone in the Premier League. If you just rushed right at them and pressed super high, they'd either be able to pass through it or take a few touches and, like, kind of dribble by somebody pressing out of control.
yeah, maybe not David Luiz, but
Yeah, David Luiz can't really do anything. And, like, I think part of that, like, if you start with free play, a constraints-led approach to, like, letting kids play and develop within the game. No, I'm not saying the phrase "let the game be the teacher" is like the end-all be-all, but, like, the game should be the primary focus of soccer, not this coach's, like, super well-planned-out session. Then you get guys, like, coming into 13, 14, 15 years old that are ball players. They can play with the ball. They're not just athletes that just kick it when it comes. You know, it drives me nuts if I see, like, someone that's, 12 or 13 years old that, like, they get the ball and they just kind of spaz out. Like, no, like, you got to stress, like, play the ball, like, keep it, like, take a touch, like, relax. You know what I mean?
yeah,
There's a lot of videos that the English FA actually puts out. They're awesome. And all they do is emphasize, like, protecting the ball. Like, you have the ball, you're manipulating the ball side to side. If an opponent comes, you're kind of shielding them off. And if you learn that at a young age, it's so much easier to improve. So that's kind of like my unstructured rant for the day. There wasn't a whole lot of, like, structure to that. I just kind of went with it.
But there's a lot of players, like young players, who don't really even, like, want to be there. And there might be
That's true.
players on that team who want to be there, and it's just...
Yes. Well, I think you'll also see that... Hold on. Do players not want to play the games? Or the fun 2v2 games where they're scoring 5 goals a game? Or do they not want to do the boring 2 laps around the field, the boring passing pattern, the boring dribbling up to this cone, dribble back? You know what I mean?
You're right.
And then you
don't
get parents or club coaches that would yell at you for, hey, why are we playing so much? Or, like, I pay you to coach, not scrimmage. Like, that hasn't happened to me, but, like, I'm saying, like, that's a problem in general.
Yeah.
So just let them play. Like, you got to play. And then I think the best coach is the last thing I'm going to say because I'm heated. The best coaches, I think, at, like, especially starting at, like, the U8 level, they have their kids with the ball the whole time, teaching them moves, but mostly giving them, like, simple instructions to play the game with the ball at their feet creatively. That's what I'll say, I guess.
Couldn't have said it better. This is all coming from a guy who coached a U9 team once to a tie against the top of the table team away.
We did it on the road. Cold, rainy night in Stoke.
Pulled out a point from that game.
Yep.
Substitute coach that game. Well done.
All right. So, if you don't have anything else to add to that, I don't know.
Nah. I kind of just let you do your thing.
Moral of the story, just play as much as you can.
You want to go play?
So, hey, let's go right now. Oh, dude, we have some clips of us playing 1v1. We should put them up on our YouTube page. That clip of me magging you pretty hard.
There's a video of me magging you, and then you make, like, the best recovery run, like, ever.
Oh, it's class. So, if anybody has any names for this, like, segment, I think it's going to be focused on, like, development and, like, youth topics, I would say. Which, like, broader soccer development topics. So,
Yeah.
I don't know.
And drop some topics.
We should call it, like, the Freddie Adu segment or something like that.
Why? Freddie
Just
again?
because, like, he's, like, a, failed U.S. prospect, but, like... All right, bad idea.
Yeah, bad idea. But
All right.
we'll think of
What's
something.
next? What do we have next?
I
Have
think...
some listener questions?
Oh, yeah, we got the listener questions.
All
Let's
right.
go.
So, question from my boy Nick Ellis, a big Arsenal fan. He wants to know how we rate Mikel Arteta as a manager. So, you give your opinion first.
I mean, it seemed like the real ideal hire for Arsenal at head coach, but I think he'll be a really good coach for them once he gets his team. We were talking about this before. You said that he's not going to be like another Pep, but he'll have similar ideas, and it'll be like an attractive way of playing. bring some good players in, players who want to play that way.
Mm-hmm.
How about you? What do you think?
Yeah, well, yeah, I think, look, you spend any time coaching under Guardiola, like, you're probably know what you're talking about. He played for good managers. He was a good player. He's a smart player. So he knows what he's doing. So maybe he's not like a great man manager, but like you definitely got to give him time. I think the Arsenal squad and club is like a bit of a mess. Like they just kind of buy players. The players just kind of sit there. Like they don't really do anything or improve. Like they don't spend enough money. Like all the Arsenal fans want to talk about is being a big club, and you barely spend any money. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I know they spend on like Aubameyang and stuff, but
I feel like Arteta isn't going to put up with a bunch of BS.
I could see Lacazette. I feel like Lacazette's gone.
I don't know about Lacazette, but
there's
Ozil.
I don't know. I always kind of liked Ozil, but
I like Ozil too.
I just think I don't know about Lacazette, but I think if he thinks he's dead weight, he's gone, and I think that's the point. It's like Arsenal hold a lot of like dead weight a lot of times. Like there's just guys kind of like rotting on the bench. Like get some young guys in, get some like
they have some really good young players.
Yeah, get some ball players in and play. Like find a system. Like I mean, half the time they're floating between like a 3-4-3 and like whatever else they're doing.
Yeah, I think they're set up good for the next couple of years. They have some good players right now, some good young players.
They need some center backs,
and they obviously need some other players in different positions. But
I mean, there's center backs out there to get too. That's the thing. Like there's some center backs to buy, like Mark McKennie.
Yeah.
Nah, I think
don't take them from the Union.
They should buy like Ake or somebody like that. Just like
can this lead us into the next listener question?
Oh yes. So my boy Rob, he asked. Well, this wasn't really a question; it was more of a comment on my Jadon Sancho Man United hot take that Man United need another center back and they should buy Koulibaly.
So, you said, what do you think?
Like, if you buy Koulibaly, you're at least making a statement saying, like, we're making that next step. Like, world-class, I'm not calling Koulibaly world-class, but, like high-level, high-name players only. Like, we're doing this, like, we're a big club, we're the Real Madrid of England, like, that kind of stuff. So I think, and if you have the money, like, why not spend it? If he's available, why not? But I don't know if they'd be able to get him.
Yeah, so Koulibaly just signed, I think it was a 4 or 5 year contract this season with Napoli. I mean, he plays for Napoli, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen him play a few times. Thought he was decent. Didn't think he was like the next best center back.
Yeah.
But
center back, you just got to be a 7.5 out of 10 every game.
You're right. I guess just be solid.
I'm normally right.
Like when a defender plays good, they're always like, "Oh, he was solid."
He was solid, yeah. But it's always like, yeah. So the judging, it's hard to judge center backs, especially on like public perception.
Yeah, which is what people do with him.
One, I think when you get to that like high, like top level, the public is so like not informed sometimes. I feel like not that I don't mean to sound like I'm like above everyone, but there's just people who come out with hot takes for the sake of hot takes or listen to other people's takes because that's their thing, but like without really giving it their own thought and research.
Yeah.
So I think he'd be good. There's other center backs out there to get too. So
yeah,
it seems like center backs are in pretty high demand.
Yeah.
Chelsea
I don't think Koulibaly will come at a big price, but I think they should sign someone else, another center back.
I mean, Chelsea could use him. Arsenal could use him. Man United could use another center back. I mean, what other teams? Spurs. I don't even know what Spurs need.
Spurs are just a team of center backs.
Yeah, I just don't like Spurs. They just bug me.
You gotta give Jose credit though.
For what?
He brought him from like 14th to 7th.
Nah, dude. He's like whatever he's doing.
It wasn't his team.
I don't think he's like the answer. Like when he came, like he got the reputation of like, oh, he just sits behind the ball and like parks the bus. Like I was like, no, he's like a pretty good coach. Like he'll figure it out. But like I just don't see that Spurs team as like, wow, they have an identity. So maybe he needs a transfer window. Maybe he needs a summer, a preseason, something.
Yeah, we'll see.
Mm-hmm. So is that all the questions we had?
I I believe so. Just keep sending us your questions. We'll get to them. Maybe
if we miss some, I think we might have to go through our Instagram and get some questions.
Maybe we'll even do like a little
mailbag Q&A.
Yeah, we could do something like that.
Ask us about our our playing career too. Like through these developments.
Please just ask questions.
Yeah. So like we talked a little bit about like our really young career. Everybody kind of started the same way in this country. So maybe like as we get closer to like high school, like different things we were thinking. Maybe we talk like more in depth about that. Like last week we had the question about like college coaches like getting recruited. So like I think questions like that are cool too.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, solid podcast. We're about 50 minutes. Is that all we got?
Yeah, I just wanted to say we got some guests lined up soon.
Mm-hmm.
So be on the lookout for that.
Don't spoil it though.
No, I won't. FA Cup this weekend. Enjoy that, all you listeners.
Yeah. Oh, I don't think I mentioned it. We're on Apple Podcast.
Oh, where?
That was earlier. Yeah, earlier in the week. Finally, I got an email that we're on Google Podcasts. Didn't even know Google Podcasts was a thing.
I guess you could say things are getting pretty serious.
I think it's getting pretty serious around here. All right, is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
All right.
See you guys.
Peace.